notifications are telling me that I'm live. Hello. It's hotter than a firecracker in Arkansas. Hi, Lena Jams. I had to take a break, so I thought I'd go live for a few minutes. And I dug out the letters from the murderer. Hi, Pam. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Red's Paradise. Welcome to everybody coming in. Hi, Moonlight View. Good to see you. Lady R, good to see you. PJ's Wish, good to see you. Is it 98 there, honey? About the same here. And I got the old, hi, Katie Ann. Hi, Chopper. I got the old blueberry field out here mowed. And I was like, you know what? I think I'll take a break till evening from the mowing anyway. And hosed myself off, threw on some lipstick, changed my shirt, and hit go live. But yeah, I've dug out the file with those old letters that I mentioned. Hi, Pat. It was a community post, I think, last week. Hi, Dre Dre. Hi, Shelly Ray. Well, thank you, honey. I'm literally, if I would, you can probably see the sweat. I'm glistening. Hi, Teresa. Thanks for coming over to Mod, honey. But pretty sure it was last week that I made a community post inquiring as to whether or not any of my subs and viewers might be interested in me reading these letters that were written to me by Kevin Burkhart, who's currently serving a life sentence. Hi, lost little ones, in the Arkansas State Penitentiary. Hi, Rowena. For double homicide. And at the time, I was reporting for a radio station, KKTZ Radio, in Mountain Home, Arkansas, where the murders took place. And so I did dig the old file out and have it right here on the table, but I don't know how long I can stand to stay out here. I needed to smoke as well. Anyway, hi, I'm Susan. Hi, Crime Creepy. And welcome to Le Bloc Noir. I'm glad you're here. Like I was saying, I literally was mowing the old blueberry field, got to what my mama used to call a good stopping point. Everything's squared up, you know. And I was like, okay, it's time for the water hose. Hi, Annabelle. Baby, it's hot down in the Delta too. Annabelle, honey, I think you know that I'm nestled in the foothills of the Ozarks here on Greers Ferry Lake in Heber Springs up in North Central. And baby, at least we got shade up here. You'd have to go out and get in the duck fields or the rice fields. Hi, Seal. And lay down to get cool. And Aeneas 24. Aeneas. Is that correct? Hi, Mohawk Mom. Well, baby, I'm just now saying hi. I hadn't even been on 5 minutes. I got it right. Aeneas 24. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, wouldn't be like me to not be. Hi, Poppy Red Mustang. I worked on it. After the last time, Aeneas 24, you were in our chat, I was like, I know how to pronounce this. I've read this, you know, like in the Bible. And I was like, so. Can't promise I'll get it right every time, but doggone, at least finally now. So, all right, guys, hi, Flies. Hi, baby. Thank you for your Cash App yesterday. Well, appreciate that a lot. Struggle is real. Hello, darling. So, Hi, Aaron Everhard. I'm having a great day, just a little bit warm. Hi, Roberta's World. You were browsing things for me? Thank you, baby. Hi, Sonia. Hi, AC. So, guys, I just, you know me, I like to take a few minutes to welcome everyone and say hi. And it also gives me a chance to hit on this cigarette. So, I on purpose, like in Stephen King's The Shining, in the title, letters from a red rummer, which is murder spelled backwards, of course, uh, just to clarify that. And I feel comfortable saying murder on the channel, but I felt a little about it being in the title. So, 101 seal where you are. Oh my word, honey. We do have, you guys can probably see the tree branches are moving. There's a little bit of a nice breeze blowing, and I'm starting to cool down a bit. But okay, is Soup? I don't see Soup. Where's Soup? Soup. Have you got a name that I know is a name, but I don't know it's your name? Hi, Elizabeth. Good to see you, darling. I'm glad you're here. Okay, guys, so a couple of times, there's Stinson as a suit. There she is. Hi, baby. Thank you for coming over. A couple of times, I think, since I started this channel, I have mentioned things from my past career or life, but in this case, career and life. 1988 in, hi Janet, hi Smashville, in Mountain Home, as I mentioned a while ago, Mountain Home, Arkansas, which is way more north central than I. It's in Baxter County, which is, and Mountain Home is give or take around 18 to 20 miles south of the Missouri-Arkansas border. Kevin Burkhart was 18. His accomplice, Edward, aka Eddie Morris, I believe Eddie was 18 as well. I never got to speak privately with Eddie, although I did attend every moment of his trial. He was tried first in the Baxter County Circuit Court under Judge McCorkindale, who happened to be a friend of mine, a really good friend. The prosecutor was Gordon Webb, a very good friend. The defense attorney was Norman Wilbur, a very, 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 very good friend. As a matter of fact, he was my attorney at the time. Let me lay this down for a minute, because I want to lay a little bit of groundwork here. Hi, Julia. Hi, Candy. Hi, Daisy. Sorry if I'm missing anybody. You guys know I got to tilt my head clear back to yonder to see you through these bifocals. All right, now. Kevin Burkhart, Burkhart. Okay. Kevin had a change of venue to Harrison, Arkansas, Boone County, where I traveled. Stayed over there a couple of nights, but it wasn't that far from Mountain Home. It's like an hour 15. The flies. The flies. I'm so sweet. The flies are coming. Is Shay in here? Where is she? Because I've been waiting for Shay to come in because her wrench is gone. And it doesn't need to be gone. Shay's a moderator on this channel. I want that wrench on there. Anyway, I'm not selling it And it's not a, okay, Soup, I'll find her, baby. I'll spot her. I'm not selling this stuff, and I don't have any sponsors. This is a non-high 2 cents. This is a non-high Angel P, non-monetized channel, but that's some good stuff right there. So, all right. Now here again, kids, I'm laying some groundwork, sitting out here in the heat, just to kind of see if I can stimulate some interest in this. Okay. Hi, Patty. Still looking for Shay. There she is. Okay. Baby, you ought to be blue. All right, so now, babies, I'm not going to look at your chat because I want to lay this groundwork so that the next time we go live, I want to do this. I don't know why, but I have these letters written to me from a murderer in prison, so I want to share them. If for no other reason, they'll be recorded. You know, I don't want to say for posterity's sake. For heaven's sakes, I'm a teeny channel over here. It's not like, I'm YouTube famous or a trendsetter or an influencer or anything like that. But in laying this groundwork, okay. I spent a night or two during the duration of the trial, and off the top of my head, I can't remember how long Kevin's trial lasted. Seems like it was a couple of weeks. Of course, I'm there for every minute of it, but I would drive home to Mountain Home, like off and on, because I was married to my husband, my deceased husband, Bob. Okay, not my current Bob. Hi, Piper. So, plus we had the audio video production house where I was the office manager, business manager, etc. And so I actually needed to go home during the trial to keep my business running. So when Kevin was found guilty of the 2 murders, which he and Eddie Morris committed with their bare hands, of 2 people in their 80s. Now, as I mentioned, now I'm going to digress. Let me do a small digression here. In the community post I made last week in this regard, I let you guys know that I've attempted this kind of thing in the past, kind of, when I talked about a woman that I knew. Her name was Obie Faye Ash. She was killed by a serial killer. I knew her. I was in junior high school. I did several pieces on here regarding the serial killer and my friend Obie Faye Ash, as well as some of his other victims. Obie's family was unsettled by it. Mostly because I focused mostly on Obie and the murder. So in my community post regarding Kevin Burkhart, I said because of that experience, I deleted, and this is not a channel where there's very, very few times, very few. I could probably count on one hand how many things have been deleted on or privated on this channel. All by request. So I'm a bit pensive um, or have been. But as I said in the community post, now going back, okay, I thought it through and I thought, hi in the bushes, hi, it's just me. I thought, if I ask the audience, let's don't focus on Mr. and Mrs. Magnus. Babies, when I do this, and it'll take several lives, I'm sure. It'll be a mini series like I tend to do from time to time. Because you know me, I'm not going to just read the letters. I'm going to have to comment. So, my thoughts are this. I'm going to focus on these letters written to me from prison from Kevin Burkhart in the live streams. But I'll provide links in the description for anyone who is interested in going back and looking at the newspaper articles, learning the names of the victims and whatnot. But I really don't want to discuss them much out of respect for them, their families that might see it or hear about it, people that loved them, kids. Kevin Burkhart and Eddie Morris beat this elderly couple to death to get money. It's horrendous. It's heart-wrenching. Now, how did I end up connecting, if you will? I know, Angel. With Kevin Burkhart. Well, as I mentioned, I was reporting on the trial for KKTZ radio in Mountain Home, Arkansas. Hi, Hybrid. I don't think the radio station exists any longer, to be honest. I haven't checked, but I don't think they do. But it's KKTZ, okay. Mountain Home, Arkansas. I think it was 98.6 maybe on the radio dial, FM. All right. Because I knew the judge, because I knew the prosecutor and the assistant prosecutor, because I knew the defense attorney, after the jury returned with a guilty verdict on Kevin Burkhart, the decision was made that a brief recess would be taken and the court would immediately, following the break, proceed with sentencing. I approached the defense attorney as the bailiff was taking Kevin Burkhart out of the courtroom. Kevin was still in earshot. I walked up to my friend, the defense attorney, Virgil Wilbur. We called him Pud. Long story. And I said, hey, Pud, what are the chances of me getting an exclusive interview with that kid? And he was like, now? Oh, when else? If we're going immediately into sentencing after this recess, then I'm pretty sure he's going to be, bye-bye, Kevin. So, yeah, what do you think the odds are? you're as a defense attorney, I want to talk to this kid. He said, well, let me go ask the judge. It's okay with me. As I mentioned, Kevin was in earshot. 18-year-old kid. Just convicted. 2 counts. First-degree murder. He said, I'll talk to her. Bailiff took Kevin on out. And Kevin, if you happen to see this, I'm following through with what we talked about a long, long time ago. But, Kevin, things have changed. It's the digital age. I'm not going to write the book. I'm going to present your letters on YouTube. And Kevin, thank you for giving me permission to do so. I don't know, kids, if in the Arkansas penal system, if they have access to electronics or things of this nature. But his name is going to be in the title. After I end the live, I'm going to change the title. So I felt it only appropriate that I let him know what I'm doing. All right. Now, so the judge gave his permission. Kevin was brought into the judge's chambers along with the defense attorney and me. The bailiff remained outside the door. And I sat down and talked to Kevin Burkhart. Maybe 15 minutes, maybe a little longer, but not much. Why did I want to talk to an 18-year-old kid who, with his friend, had brutally murdered 2 people in their 80s? Because I wanted to know, how in heaven's name did you come to be where you are today? What happened to you? I want to know. We agreed that he would write to me. And I would write to him. Now, we're talking the 1980s, 1990s here. Maybe 1 or 2 from the early 2000s. So, I can't tell you what I wrote to him. They were handwritten letters written privately to him. I did not make nor retain copies. So, we're going to have to kind of guess when we're reading his letters back to me what I might have said to him. He may have kept my letters. I mean, he is in prison for life. Uh-oh. Here's my next door neighbor. She must not be watching. Lillian, you're in trouble. So, in my pursuit, high cautious gems, of wanting to know how, not just why. We knew why from the testimony in the trial. But how does this 18-year-old kid and his 18-year-old friend come to this place? In one of his letters, hang on a second, I get the file out, and move you guys around a little bit. Now, we're not going to get into the letters right now. I'm getting really, really hot. I might, let's see, we haven't been on here 30 minutes yet. I might finish this cigarette. Maybe we can go inside and sit in the cool in the kitchen. But After a while, and I've showed this on my channel before, Kevin sent this to me. This is his handwriting on the top. It says, this was in June of 1968. Okay. It is a photocopy from a newspaper in New Iberia Parish, Louisiana. It also has an obituary. Car strikes motorcycle, kills father of 8. This was Kevin's father. Kevin's mother was pregnant with Kevin, her 9th child, their 9th child, when this happened. Now, this is not why Kevin and Eddie did what they did. It's not why Kevin. I can't speak for Eddie. I have the transcript of his interrogation, of Eddie's interrogation. Other than that, I can't speak for him. I want to make it clear as I approach this series, I have no sympathy whatsoever for Kevin Burkhart or Eddie Morris. None. None. So do not try to read into this upcoming mini-series, Letters from a Red Rummer, that I am simpatico with this guy, because I am not, nor have I ever been. I was an investigative journalist at the time, and I had questions, and I wanted answers. For Kevin, in his mind, this is where it began. Now, I have not been able to find the original new, I don't even know the name of the, if anybody in this viewing audience during the live or that watches it as a rewatch, if you live in Louisiana, if you know about New Iberia Parish, if you know, there are several newspapers down there. I don't know what paper this is from. I mean, it's obvious it's from a paper, but I know how YouTube is. Oh, you could have made that up. Yeah, I guess I could have, but I didn't. Lillian, honey, please stop texting me. I'm on a live on YouTube. Let me turn my, at least turn my notif. Okay. And you guys, hi, Hilda. Hi, Quark. Oh, Quark, you're sitting. Okay, honey. Guys, I'm going to melt. We're going to have to go inside. Because I'm going to read this to you. I just turned my notifications off. Lillian is sending me videos. My neighbor over here. On my other channel, I'm posting occasionally videos of Rocky, the rescued baby squirrel, on Furry Feline Monsters of Mass Destruction, my cat rescue channel. This little baby squirrel was blown out of a tree during one of our... Lillian, stop! She's sending me videos of Rocky. He had his first black walnut yesterday, dang it. I'm about to melt. Theme song, Wicked Witch of the West. All right, we're going to go in. I'm going to read this to you. But, you know, I know how YouTube is. Oh, you could have made all this up. I guess so. Or you could go check it out. I don't care which way you want to do it. Lillian. Oh, Rocky playing with his stuffed toy. I turned the... Teresa, it's not funny. You guys are smart Alex. Of course, you know what they say. Birds of the feather and all that. Well, look who you're hanging out with. Of course you're smart, Alex. Of course you think almost everything's funny. I think almost everything's funny. Lordy mercy, darlings. I hope I don't have perspiration stains. Stop it. Candy. Poppy. Lena. Cut. Y'all are fixing to get in trouble. You're dealing with a grandma. Hi, Matthew. You're dealing with a grandma. You're dealing with a great grandma. And by great grandma, I mean it both ways. I am a great grandma, as in really, really rah, rah good. I also am a great grandma. Got 4 of them. Okay, we're going in. For me and this Doctor Who shirt, I have to get in. What's his traveling mission? What's his traveling? The TARDIS? Is it the TARDIS? What is it? Oh, please, I don't want to drop, y'all, if I drop this file. Oh, my word, I'm going to be so I'm going to be irritated. Oh, and if you'd like to hear a story about 8 cats, 1 rather large mouse, and a crazy old cat lady with a broom this morning, go over and check out the video I uploaded on Furry Feline Monsters and Mass Destruction a while ago. Yeah. Lived in this house almost 10 years. Never had a mouse. Run a cat rescue. 8 full-grown cats. I'm like, what are you guys so interested in back there? You have to go to my other channel if you want to know the rest of this story. How's that for manipulation? All right. Y'all. All right, let me sit you down and where is my water at? Did I not bring my water? Shit fart save matches. Hang on. Dang, nabbit. Well, guess what? I have another bottle of water. Eight cat, pretty much, yeah. Like, oh, you're cute. Where did you come from? That's what I'd like to know. All right. Now, like I said, I've been mowing. I'm a mess. I don't want to hear it. Well, I don't care. But guys, see, now look. I've got some notes on the outside of the old manila file folder here. Okay, I had made some notes to myself on the outside here. Y'all know I'm old school. Okay. I had just jotted down New Iberia Courthouse, New Iberia Chamber of Commerce, I will have other notes somewhere that will let me know why did I write Chamber of Commerce. Maybe so that I could call and find out the newspaper. I had jotted down race relations at the time, weather conditions at the time. This is all in relationship to Kevin's dad's death on the motorcycle, okay? I had written any significant events from the previous year in his life, foods, traditions, and daily life in Iberia Parish in that era, being the 1960s. Okay. Now, look, I even have June 30th, 2014. I'm not going to read the letters, but I am going to, I have more notes. I'd forgotten I'd actually been doing some work on this over the years. This file folder actually rarely sees the light of day. I mean, literally. Okay. I guess I wasn't feeling well, and I must have written to him and said so. Because here on this greeting card from prison, it says, fast, speedy, quick. June 30th, 2014, Dear Susan, just a note to let you know, I pray that God will touch and heal you. Sincerely, Kevin. Hope it's not long till you're not feeling sick. Praying God makes you better soon. I am the Lord who heals you. Exodus 15:26. So I have my notes. This is the transcript of Eddie Morris, Kevin's, I keep wanting to say accomplice. He wasn't actually. They were they were in it together. Anyway, this is the transcript of Eddie's interrogation. I have just here again, laying groundwork, and then I'm going to read this article, and then we're going to probably say goodbye because this is all I got today. I really just needed a break from the heat too. So, okay, I'm looking the wrong way for the lens again, but as you can see, I have the envelopes. Okay. And they are from Kevin Burkhart, and you can see that they are sent from Grady, Arkansas, Grady, Arkansas, Grady, Arkansas, Cummins Unit. He's at Varner now, Varner's maximum security. They won't let me visit him. Not that I want to anymore. I was approved to be a visitor for years and years and years and years. And I just couldn't. Well, once my oldest son retired from the military, he went bonkers with boredom after about 6 months of his retirement. So he went to the academy and became a corrections officer in the Arkansas State Penal System. And I refiled to go visit Kevin so I could interview him. And I got denied. And my son at the time was working at the Varner unit where Kevin was housed. So I got a hold of my son and I said, without breaking any rules regulations, or laws. Can you tell me what in the world did I do that they won't let me see a murderer? What have I done? He said, Mama, you didn't do anything. He's not allowed any visitors from anybody right now. He's on restriction for bad behavior. Okay. But in case anybody wants to look it up, unless it's changed, Arkansas Department of Corrections, that's his. You want to write to Kevin Burkhart. Ask him if he knows Susan. Anyway, I don't know that he's still at Varner. But if anybody wanted to grab a screenshot of that and maybe write to Kevin and say, hey, hi Marie, there's this old woman who was young when you met her, named Susan, and she's saying that she has letters from you, if you guys want to go that far. This is when he thought he might be able to get me to send him money. No, Kevin, I'm not going to be sending you any money. This one, oh, okay, yeah. When they sent the visitation forms, they send 2 in case you make a mistake on the first one. So I kept the blank because I didn't make a mistake on the first one. But there's everything you have to answer. If you want to visit somebody that's in the Arkansas State Pen, receipt. Hey, speaking of which, who is Jody Sue Brown talking about? Who is the Muffin Man? If you've seen the community post, now listen, in her live stream, I don't know if she's gone live since then, but I was watching a little bit of it yesterday. It's titled Fireside. And somebody she's calling the Muffin Man gave her a message for all of us. I want to know who that is. Well, people came up. You kids just crack me up. I love you guys so much. You guys are so freaking funny. Like, some were very factual. You know, the Muffin Man with the name, the years, the location, serial killer. Right? Lives on Drury Lane. And with some of you kids, I was like, I know that. That's not what I want to know. Because one person was like, look it up. I was like, sweetheart, I can look up the Muffin Man, but I can't look up Jody Sue Brown's Muffin Man because I don't know who her Muffin Man is. Then you guys went all nuts in the comments. You're like, oh, I know the Gingerbread Man. Oh, I know the Pillsbury Doughboy. Oh, Mom and Steve Holder. Mohawk. Damn it, I want to know who the Muffin Man is. How do I know whether or not to take the message seriously? Which basically was, y'all better straighten the F up out there. Well, first of all, Mr. Muffin Man, I don't know who you think you are, but you don't tell me what to do. My husband don't tell me what to do. There ain't nobody tells me what to do. There's been a few tried. AC, who is the damn Muffin Man that Jody Sue Brown's talking about? You guys had some great suggestions. Tim Mullen, Andy Bernard, Pillsbury Doughboy, Gingerbread Man. BS said that she would check it. She's going to put out some feelers. Piper, honey, I don't get it. I'm too lazy for that. Honey, you know this ain't this is a commentary, criticism, opinion, and whatever I want to freaking talk about channel. This ain't no true crime channel. And I retired a long time ago from deep investigation. Piper, I'm too lazy for that. Why would I bring it to my viewing audience and go, oh, who's the Muffin Man? I could have gotten the scoop, done all the research, and gone, oh, here's the Muffin Man. No, I want you guys to do all the work and then just tell me. That's how I roll. Now I'm going to read this. And I'm sorry about the air conditioner noise. Hi, Sassy Ann, but I'm not turning the air conditioner off. So too bad. Okay, here again, Kevin wrote across the top. This was in June of 1968. And he sent me this photocopy of this newspaper article to try to help me understand how he ended up at the age of 18 being a brutal murderer. Car strikes motorcycle, kills father of 8. A father of 8 children was killed early today, Saturday, when the motorcycle he was riding was struck from the rear by an automobile. What is it, Patches? The man, Joseph Collins. Now, Kevin's name, his birth name, was Collins. But he went into the system, and a lot happened to him. Okay? So don't get confused between Collins and Burkhart, at least not at this point. Okay, so Joseph Collins is Kevin Burkhart's father. The man, Joseph Collins, 34, of Route 2, Box W125, had just left his home and was on his way to work at the time, about 2:45 a.m. I haven't read this in a while, and I've marked up a bunch of stuff. Sorry for stumbling around. Let me read that again more fluidly. It doesn't help that I have a 10-pound cat making biscuits on my hind end right now. Just saying. Stop. Okay. The man, Joseph Collins, 34, of Route 2, Box W125, had just left his home and was on his way to work at the time, about 2:45 a.m. His death was the 9th traffic fatality on rural roads in Iberia Parish this year. This year being 1968. Troopers Louis Ackle and Louis Belair, Troop C State Police, Iberia Parish Substation, investigated the accident which happened on Louisiana, Patches, baby, get down, please, which happened on Louisiana 83, the Weeks Island Road. Weeks as in 7 days in a week. Weeks. Weeks. And here again, if any of you live in this area, if you know anything about the geography, anything, the culture, anything, please help me flesh this out. I mean, if you can and you want to, not. Okay, the Weeks Island Road, Louisiana Highway 83. Slightly less than a mile south of the intersection of Louisiana 83. Now, babies, I don't speak Louisiana. I can barely just say Nolens, okay? So if you are from this region, please accept my apologies for mispronunciation. The Patoutville, Patoutville, the Patoutville Road, which connects with the 40 Arpent Road. Okay, an intersection. Okay, let me go on. Hi, Esther. According to the officers, a car being driven by Ananias Johnson Jr. Now, babies, this article was written in 1968. All right, this is a word that they used to use in the press in other places to differentiate between Caucasian so please forgive me because I'm going to read the article as it is written, keeping in mind, please, that I have a great-grandson of mixed race who is the apple of his great-grandma's eye. But this is the article. According to the officers, a car being driven by Ananias Johnson Jr., 29-year-old Negro, and they give a post office box, his address, of Weeks Island, crashed into the southbound motorcycle. Apparently, the car was traveling at a high rate of speed, the officers said. Collins was thrown 181 feet from the point of impact, and his motorcycle landed 358 feet from the point of impact. Johnson's car stopped 653 feet from where it struck the motorcycle. Johnson has been charged with reckless operation and negligent homicide. I want to know what happened to Mr. Johnson. He was 29 in 1968. Ananias Johnson Jr., Weeks Island. Johnson has been charged with reckless operation and negligent homicide and is lodged in Iberia Parish Jail. A blood sample was taken and sent to the state laboratory. Collins was pronounced dead at the scene by the parish coroner, Dr. Roy LaSalle. Now, darlings, here's another reason that I want to know about this newspaper. This article, see number 5, page 5. Oh, okay. Here again, forgive me. I haven't looked at this in literally years. Okay, number 5 is the obituary, but it's also a continuation of the actual news article. So I've got it. We've got it. Okay. Collins was pronounced dead at the scene by parish coroner Dr. Roy LaSalle. Iberia Parish Sheriff's deputies assisted. Funeral services for Collins, a mechanic for Morton Salt Company for 15 years, are scheduled for Sunday, June 9th, 1968, of course, at 4 p.m. from the David Funeral Home Chapel, with interment at the St. John the Evangelist Catholic Cemetery in Jeanerette. He was the son of the late Joseph Collins Sr. and Mrs. Alida Babin Collins. Survivors include his wife, the former Mary Alice Parlow, 3 sons, Ricky Dean Collins, Morgan Joseph Parlow, and Joseph Collins III. 5 daughters, Catherine Collins, Lisa Lee Collins, Deborah Lynn Parlow, Linda Parlow, and Peggy Lee Collins. His mother and 3 brothers, Adam Collins of Jeanerette, I believe that's how it's pronounced, in Louisiana, Paul W. Collins of New Iberia, and John Collins of Charenton. David's Funeral Home of New Iberia is in charge of the arrangements. So, this is where Kevin Burkhart began his journey in life. I could spend weeks just digging into, the odds that any of these people are still alive is so remote as to be. We would need Jimmy the Greek to give us the real odds. Because I'm sure these troopers, these state policemen from the New Iberia Parish substation, 1968, 78, 88, 98, 08, 50, 55 years ago? And it makes me wonder if Kevin has told me the truth that his mother was pregnant with him, because he is Joseph Collins III. Anyway, there's a lot. Hi, Eve. Hi, Campfire Karaoke. But, guys, as you can see, there's quite a bit. And one of the letters, I do remember what I asked in the letter I sent to Kevin, with one. I asked Kevin if he ever found himself comfortable in doing so, would he tell me exactly what happened that night? He did. So within this file is a letter from a murderer with precise detailed and I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-read letters before I read them publicly. I'm not going to physically redact anything because I'm not going to hold the letters up to the screen. But there will be trigger warnings for that letter reading, and I need to use discretion, you guys. I mean, I know we're all grown-ups here, okay? But I want to be sensitive. So, these were my questions years ago regarding Kevin's father's death. Were there any photos of the crash scene, of the vehicles, of the motorcycle, or of Mr. Collins or Mr. Johnson? I had written down where did Mr. Collins work, but we know from the article he was a mechanic at the Morton Salt Company and he had been there for 15 years. These are just notes, babies, I wrote to myself. Just a curious mind wondering. Questions that will likely never be answered. What was his job description? What did Mr. Johnson do? Who did he work for? What was his job description? Why were they on the road at 2:45 a.m.? Now we know that Mr. Collins, Kevin's father, was headed to work. 2:45 seems like an odd time. Generally speaking, back in those days, and maybe even still today. Hi, Lise. It was what back in my day they called the graveyard shift. And most shifts, manufacturing mostly, ran 3 shifts back in the day. You had the day shift that was generally from 8 to 4. You had second shift that was generally 4 to 11. And then you had what they called the graveyard shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So they, and here again, this is not about, this just goes to show you the things I think about when I'm looking into something. These are just research notes, merely on the article. Why was Mr. Johnson on the road? Why was he driving so fast? Was Mr. Collins stopped on the motorcycle, or was he in motion? What were the blood sample results on Mr. Johnson? Was he tried and convicted? How did he plead? If there was a trial, is there a transcript? Are there copies of any police reports and evidence from the accident? What was each man wearing? The mind of an investigative journalist. Was Mr. Johnson's vision impaired? What was the weather? Is Mr. Johnson still alive? If so, where is he? If not, does he have living descendants? Dr. Roy LaSalle, coroner. Are there coroner reports? And why I wrote this down, I don't know. I wrote down what phase was the moon in. I guess I was thinking about visibility in the middle of the night on a dark road, out in the middle of, I guess, nowhere in Louisiana. What phase was the moon in? Was it a deserted stretch of highway, or were there any houses or industries nearby? That gives you guys a little insight into how my mind works. Questions. So there is thank you, Lady Art. There's a brief impromptu foundation. And after talking with you guys about it, of course, I haven't been able to look at your chat, but I will after live chat uploads, after we end the live, to see what you guys have had to say about it. But if I started to say, I'm going to do it if there's significant interest. Babies, I'm going to do it regardless. I don't know why, but I can't stop thinking about it. Is that weird? I mean, he came into my head several days before I made the community post. And I even said to my husband, Bob, I was like, I'm going to dig out that old file folder with all those letters from Kevin Burkhart. And I did. So, I'm going to have to get them in order because I think it would be best for me to read them as much as possible in chronological order. The letters begin in 1994. So obviously there was a 6-year span that I did not communicate with him or had anything to do with him. I just, was going on with my life, my business, my career, my family. Let's see what this is. Trash. So I dug it out. There it is. I told Kevin that day that I talked to him there in the judge's chambers. If you'll write to me and you'll tell me how you came to be here, what happened to you? Then someday, when I retire and I no longer have an active career, Kevin, I said, with your permission, I'm going to write a book, but I'm not going to write a book about the murders. I'm going to write a book about you. He said, okay. And my intention at the time, here again, that was 1988. My intention at the time was that if I ever did that I would send all of the profits to any and all survivors of Mr. and Mrs. Magnus. It was it was 1988. I knew that I couldn't in good conscience write a book and make money off of it. Not about this. If I ever write a book, it's going to be a book about a little toad. He's a hip hop artist. His name is Toady, Toad toe hyphen D. Toe D. The big toe D. I'm not kidding. So I'm not going to write a book. I'm going to do what I've been sharing with you guys here. I'm going to read the material in this file folder on a non-monetized YouTube channel. And whatever it is that is on my chest and my brain in this regard, maybe it will go away. Kevin is still alive the last time I checked. I pulled up his, you know, how you go in and it brings up their mugshot and, you know, his prison, his, using that number that I showed you guys. He doesn't look anything like he did. Nothing at all like when he was 18. And he's kind of one of those, the oh, poor me, you know, send me money. Nobody loves me. I don't have any family. That kind of guy. Yeah. But a kind of a schmoozy, kind of a, in a almost sickening way, prison dude, you know, like, oh, you're my best friend. Send me some money. I don't think so. Thank you. So, all right. Well, darlings, no, here, I know, hi, Ramblin'. If I've missed you in chat, I'm really sorry. It was not my intention, so please accept my heartfelt apology. I don't like to leave anybody out or make anybody feel like they've been left out, which can happen a lot here on these mean streets of YouTube. But, all right, so we're going to do this. For anyone interested in knowing, I'm still waiting for Mr. Holder to either remove his invalid copyright strike on this channel or you have a few days left. Because Mr. Holder, if you happen to see this or any of your cohorts, including the YouTubers whose asses you kiss, and the YouTubers who kiss your ass, I might add. You know, for a guy that doesn't like YouTubers, especially YouTubers talking about Summer Wells, I find your associations quite intriguing, sir. Quite intriguing. I thought you didn't like YouTubers. Anyway. Last week, now I'm not going to go in there and pull it up. I don't have to. Besides that, I need to get back to work. I received my second email from YouTube. The second email is the one that tells you you are in active review by human beings with their own eyes, Mr. Holder. I also have a few more questions. Oh, so to finish that thought out in closing, Mr. Holder. On the day I received that email, the second one from YouTube, YouTube told me you have 10 business days to either remove the strike or you and I, sir, will be seeing one another in a court of law. They tell me that gets really expensive. I'm not backing down, Mr. Holder. You have offended me. You have violated the copyright strike rules on YouTube. You have misused them, sir. In the ensuing days, you have taken down your channel, one of the two. And I have this question for you, Mr. Holder, as well as your ass-kissing buddies. Why did you only strike part 3? You did not strike. I did 5 live streams on that piece of shit book. 5. He did not strike 1. He did not strike 2. He did not strike 4. He did not strike 5. He only struck part 3. Is your whole fucking book copyrighted or just the part that I read on part 3, sir? That's all I have to say about that at this time. But I would like for my subs, viewers, and the flying monkeys who are hiding in the bushes right now because they're too chicken shit to come into a chat room without being assholes. So, if any of you out there have inquiring minds and would like to know, don't you guys find it quite interesting that I did a 5-part? I was intending to do 10. A 10-part comedy miniseries. Why didn't he strike 1, 2, 4, and 5? That's something I'll be talking, if we go to court, I'm sure that the judge would be very interested, Mr. Holder, in your answer to that question. If this is a copyright strike, which that's what you called it. But what it actually is you just don't fucking like the way I reviewed your book. Neither do your pals, do they? Here's what else you need to know, Mr. Holder. Just because I don't say things on here publicly don't mean I don't know them. You feel me? Now, old Dan Tucker was a fine old man. He washed his face in a frying pan, combed his hair with the wagon wheel, died with a toothache in his heel. Get out the way, old Dan Tucker, it's too late to get your supper. Supper's over and dinner's cooking. Old Dan Tucker just standing there looking. I love you guys. Don't forget, and this is to you, Dick Dollar. I answered you in my comment section, but I'm going to answer you here so that everybody knows. Mr. Dick Dollar would like to know just who is it I'm referring to when at the end of my live streams I say, never forget that I love you regardless of what happens. So I'll tell you here publicly, just like I did in my comment section, Dick Dollar. I mean humankind. Jesus the Christ commands that I, as a Christian, love all man, woman, children kind. It's a requirement. No wiggle room. However, Jesus never said I had to fucking like you. So, never forget, when you are out here on the mean streets of YouTube, there really is one batshit crazy old cat lady who loves you regardless of what happens. And I'll see you on the flip-flop, whether you like it or not. Hi, nature lover. Hi, Victoria. That is. That's That's right, lady. I'll see you on the flip-flop. That is, if you choose to tune in. Now, you don't have to go home, but you ain't staying here. Get out of my house. I'm done. I love you. Now, go do something decent, positive. Nothing else. Be good to yourself. If you can't find it in yourself to be decent and kind to somebody else, then just be good and decent and kind to your own self. But if that's the kind of person you are, you're most definitely on the wrong channel. If the shoe fits, wear it. Love you guys. Bye-bye.